Hello.
Hello. Wow.
Welcome, everyone. This is episode 114 of the NgoVo Convo podcast, where two stupids make a... Right. Hype.
Right.
It's
hype and right. Yeah.
Both.
Hype
Why
and
not?
right.
You know? One of
Yeah.
those days. Because I'm one of your hosts,
Yeah.
Harrison No, and I'm joined by Veronica Vo. Yeah, that was weird.
Wow, that was
That was
weird.
weird. But she's over there. Just check it out. But if you're new here, we just need an excuse to talk about anything that ranges from anime to comics, or really just to clean up our never-ending backlog. But this is not one of those backlog things.
No,
We
it wasn't.
we drank the Barbenheimer juice, so don't worry about that.
We sure did.
Yeah, we drank that. But also, some would say we're conversing
Wow, like NgoVo Convo and NgoVo Convo. Logos above Harrison's head.
over there.
Sometimes he's pointing at it.
This time, don't worry.
This time. Yeah.
But you can watch every episode on YouTube.com or listen to it as a podcast by searching up NgoVo Convo on your podcast service of choice, or on all plus of them. All plus.
All
Platforms.
pluses.
All 9
All
plus.
of them.
Rip Stitch.
Yes. R.I.P. to Stitch.
But I guess if you haven't seen this, it is out in theaters right now as of
Fresh.
recording. What are we watching?
The Barbenheimer juice. We're on this
Which
Oppenheimer
one?
juice.
Ah, thank you. Just want to make sure, because
Yeah.
I was like, "There's two movies I just mentioned. Which one are we talking about?"
Yeah.
Got to keep you on your toes, Veronica. But yes,
And the audience.
but yeah, if you haven't seen it, Oppenheimer's out right now. It is 3 hours.
It's Christopher Nolan. It's 3 hours.
Yeah, it's his longest movie.
Yeah.
So if you haven't seen it, we'll talk about our non-spoiler thoughts first. But if anything, if you want to just wait, give this video a like, save it for later. That's what I do. Easy.
Easy.
Yeah. Just come back in 3 hours. It will be here. It's
Yeah.
okay.
Just start in the you can either watch it in the morning on the weekends and just get out
Yeah.
by lunchtime, or if you're crazy like Harrison, just go after work with his wife. Just
I was going to say, so like,
go,
yes,
you know.
non-spoilers, yeah, go. But yeah, so Veronica watched it in the morning.
On the weekend
weekend.
with your brother and my husband. Yeah.
Meanwhile, me and my wife went on a Wednesday after work. It was like, we went around 6 o'clock, all right? 6:30. No, it was 6.
Yeah, but then 6 o'clock, yeah. Because then you got to think about trailers, and trailers takes like 20 minutes. So
Yeah.
the movie doesn't really start until like 6:30.
So we didn't get out till
really
like
think about
9:30
it.
or so.
Yeah.
But I will say, excuse me, I will say this movie was long, but for me personally, did not feel as long as 3 hours.
Really?
It
Not
was
me.
fine for me. I thought I was engrossed. I was engaged.
No. I liked it. I just towards the end, I could feel my butt.
See. That's not the
hurting.
movie's fault. That is you. No, I'm just kidding. That is the movie theater's problem.
Hey, they were nice cushioned like loft seats. I was just really
Did you?
feeling it.
Did you get the recliner one or no?
Yeah, it was a recliner one.
That's weird, dude. I don't know. I was
Yeah.
the recliner one too. I was fine.
Maybe it's my Cinemark. I don't know.
I don't know, man. Yeah, because I went to
Oh,
my
no.
Cinemark too. I was yeah.
Interesting, okay.
Did you watch? So also going to put this up front. Did you watch an IMAX or no?
I did not.
Did not.
So where I live, it was all sold out.
Yes.
The IMAX 70 not available anywhere.
Yeah.
Sold out for like weeks.
Yep.
Like, I couldn't even find like a date
Yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
But I heard that the film version is like 600 pounds, like lifted wise.
Mm-hmm.
So that's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we also unfortunately
To film this movie in two different cameras is absolutely wild.
it's
to
so
me.
cool. It's honestly
cool.
really cool.
But it's just like a Christopher Nolan
It is
thing
the
to
most.
do.
Yes, it is. So that's the other thing. So me and my wife had to watch it in normal as well because. So finding times sucked in that I was trying to find IMAX, but in our area, I was going on Fandango too. But I tried to check like directly on the sites as well.
Oh, like directly?
Just
yeah.
to make sure I didn't miss anything. But it was weird because the timings were so off, or it was like either during the day, which obviously I'm working, so I can't do that.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
then like I said, 6 or then 9 p.m. And there was
there's one here at like 10:30.
yeah, or it was like maybe it was 10, and I was like, what?
Yeah.
3 hours? No, I'm not doing that.
No.
On a weekday? Hell no.
Not worth it.
Not worth it. And then I tried to find obviously we didn't, so in my area we don't have the 70 millimeter, but we had the 35. So we had
Oh, okay.
yeah, so we had half.
Okay.
So it was like half of that. But the times were also weird for that one too. So I was like, well, I can't, out of convenience, I can't just do that.
You can't just
because we couldn't watch it over the weekend. Because by the time we dropped this, I was going out of town at that point.
Yeah. You're
So we had to, so I had to like plan all this stuff too. So yeah, just to get the point across, we both watched in standard. I kind of, I wish I watched in IMAX though.
Me too. Especially for some of the parts.
Yeah.
Like, so yeah. But either way, both in standard is really fantastic too.
The sound still hit.
It was such a Christopher Nolan
maybe that's why
soundtrack.
Because it did feel like
it was a soundtrack.
Yeah. Overall, I really liked, but going back to the whole 3 hour thing, I really liked it, even though it was like 3 hours. I think that's like the one big negative across the board for some people, or their big question of, it's 3 hours, is it worth it? Because it is a long time.
Yeah, and honestly, I didn't start thinking about the 3 hours until my butt started aching the last act.
Okay, I was going to ask last act.
It was like the last, like, I want to say like 45 minutes. I was sitting there and I was like, I'm enjoying this, but I was just like, I need to like stand up or something. Because I felt like I was on an airplane and I like couldn't move.
I feel you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think overall what I really liked for this movie though was the cinematography, like the use of color, use of like film and everything.
Oh, the coloring is genius in this movie. Yes,
it is so good.
Yeah.
I know some people I asked Veronica this because I watched before, right? I watched before her. I actually asked her, I don't know if you noticed, some people have complained because it's been a Christopher Nolan thing where the sound and then the voicing, the audio mixing's jank, or it's out of whack more often than not.
It's out of whack.
Did it feel that way for this viewing for Oppenheimer?
No, it didn't. I was looking out for that.
Yeah.
And it didn't.
See, and I can't tell if some people just had that theater, or maybe it's because we didn't watch IMAX. There's a lot of things that play into it.
Yeah. But I read that too.
Yeah.
That people were having like issues.
Issues like understanding when some people are talking.
Yeah.
And it could be audio mixing for like IMAX specifically, or maybe us. I don't know. Comment down below if you did have that issue.
But we both went to Cinemark, but I had no issues. Yeah. And I was looking for
That's the other thing. We both went
to
Cinemark, so it wasn't really because I was about to go to a different movie theater, but again, timing and the drive and all that, so we'll see.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise, like I love the music. Like music score, soundtrack's so good. Sound usage of like sound effects and everything was just really, everything was just like top tier. It felt really good.
Yes.
Acting was like
100%.
This cast was stacked.
They're crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know how he got, well, I know how he got them, but it's crazy.
It's
absolutely crazy.
And we'll talk about it in detail because I don't want to spoil too much, but there's like a bunch of unexpected like actors that popped up to me.
And twists?
Yeah. Some twists too, but I think I was just surprised with some of the actors popping up until like I sat there. I'm like, wait, I think that's like that's it.
This is yeah.
So I think overall I thought it was really fun. I think it was, the pacing was a slow burn, but I think it benefited from it.
It starts making sense as the movie went along, especially when we were talking about colors, right? There's a colored portion and there's a black and white portion. Which I find really like ingenious of Christopher Nolan to have two different point of views in two different color schemes is like great, because one's like subjective and one's objective towards Oppenheimer, and I was like, oh god, why do I have to think in this movie?
What do you mean what do you have to think? What are you talking about?
Listen, as someone who has a degree in mathematics and physics, this movie was like, I was like shitting in my pants. I was like, math, here we go again.
But the difference, these guys are doing it for fun.
Yeah, I know. I was like, oh god.
Yeah. So I mean, there's a lot of stuff. And then I think Christopher Nolan did a very good job in getting the history down. Like, it's some of it is dramatized, but otherwise I went after, just like, I watched the movie, I was like, okay, this is cool. But I usually, like, when it comes to historical like sources, I try to double check and make sure, like, okay, was this, but
he was on. It
was funny because I usually like history, and I mean, I took AP history in high school, and I still enjoyed like U.S. history. I enjoy world history more, but U.S. history, I'm like, all right. It was just funny that I still remembered stuff from AP U.S. history when it came to this stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that. Oh yeah, oh my god, this is weird.
Speaking of history, did you know Oppenheimer is actually banned in Japan?
I'm not surprised. Really though?
It's banned.
The two bombs are too strong.
Too soon. We're a couple decades out, but still too.
But it makes sense though. No, but it does make sense. Like, why they didn't want to see
the trauma's there, so they don't want to like.
Because if you think about it, when I wouldn't give them too much crap for it, because is this from like, when you're watching this, is this from this perspective of like the U.S.? So of course you don't see.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer
and the U.S. Like, of course you don't want your whole entire country to relive trauma.
Yeah, and I think another thing, I saw this online, and I don't know how. This is probably like a vocal minority, but I guess some people didn't expect. They thought it sounded like people expected it to be more about the Manhattan Project only, but even though it was called Oppenheimer. But I guess they were just kind of surprised that it was more and focus on Oppenheimer. I don't know. Did you see something like that? Yeah, it was kind of weird, and I think it's just like a very vocal minority.
Like they thought it was like about the project only, and not like.
Or maybe they expected more explosions and stuff, which I'm like, no, dude.
No, this is not Michael Bay.
No,
this is.
But yeah, it was just weird. There's some random stuff that I read. I was like, what's going on?
Yeah, that's crazy. Killian did a great job.
Yes.
Honestly.
He looked like he really did look like Oppenheimer, and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah. He lost weight for this movie. He smoked vegan cigarettes, 4,000 or 2,000, some big number.
Yeah, like every day he would like continually always just be smoking. I mean, because he was doing
vegan, so
he was doing method acting, right?
Yeah.
Is he usually method acting? I can't remember.
Usually, I mean, have you seen him in Batman Begins?
Oh wait, yeah.
I was like, hold up, do you not remember Batman Begins?
I remember now. You're right. Yep.
Yeah, Killian did a really good job.
Yeah.
Really, really good job.
Yeah. Overall, I recommend this. I know it's long.
Yes.
But I think it's worth. I think it's
worth the Barbenheimer juice.
Yes.
It's worth it.
Now, we watched Barbie first, right? Both of us. And then we watched Oppenheimer. I don't think it would have changed anything. I know, like, it's joked upon, but, like, legitimately,
Yeah.
It's fun. But.
But Barbie versus. If you had to pit Barbie versus Oppenheimer.
Goddamn.
Which one do you think has a bigger impact? Which one? Even though they're two basically movies like out.
I could say so many things, and we're not gonna go down that path. So here we go.
I'm putting you on the spot.
You are putting me on the spot. I think they're both, and this is my cop-out answer. They're both good in different aspects, but they're all essentially you are depressed. But you end depressed regardless.
Yeah, you end depressed regardless. Yeah.
So me personally, I think I think Barbie has more exposure on certain things, while Oppenheimer, I think, as someone that enjoys history, I just have a bias towards that, and I think it's good to know about as well. I always like watching bioflicks and all that stuff.
Bioflicks, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
what about you? Did you ask me?
I think Barbie had a better impact for me, like theme-wise. And then, but I think Oppenheimer is like a really good teaching aspect for people who don't understand what happened with the atomic bomb.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's how I feel.
Yeah. I think Barbie has like the impact for the message.
Yes.
While Oppenheimer has a message, but it's like very, the typical like thematic messages from like dramatized.
But Oppenheimer's like teachable.
Yes.
Like you can it's just teachable.
I can see this movie. I can see Barbie. I can see Oppenheimer in history classes now. Like I know like back then.
Yeah.
One of my teacher, he there's one movie he had us watch, but because there's some parts that were like too much for high schoolers, quote unquote, he cut those bits. And I think you would probably have to do the same for this.
Yeah.
But I think, I don't know. Otherwise, I could see it in a classroom setting. And it would span like a 2-3 days.
A whole week, basically. If they wanted to.
Yeah. If they wanted to do the whole Manhattan Project. But I feel like that was a small portion on the test.
It really was. It really was. Yeah.
So. But I'm going to just jump into spoilers now. If we're cool.
Let's get into it.
Okay, cool. Ready in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Spoilers.
Yes.
Last call. All right, spoilers.
There's
so much. Like
there was a lot.
There was a lot. I mean, it was 3 hours, but did you feel I don't did you mention this? I know we mentioned 3 acts, but I felt it was fine, right? It was pretty fine. Definitive. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thought the pacing was good. Yeah. But what did you not like? Is there anything you didn't like from the film?
I feel like I didn't dislike anything outside of the duration.
Yep.
But I think it's not a gripe. It was more of like, let's hope my ears don't explode when this test comes out. Yeah. And so I was sitting there and I was just like, during that time I was like, oh god, this is gonna
when the Trinity project went, like when they actually did the launch.
Yeah, when they actually did the launch, the test, the first one. And so I was sitting there, I was like, oh great, my ears are gonna
my wife did the same thing.
I was like waiting, and then it was just like it was great to see that it was silent, because you could really see people's expressions before they did it in silence, and then afterwards came the sound of the bombing.
But it's accurate. But it
is accurate.
I was like, that's... But they timed it so well. This is what I thought was good in that...
Yeah.
I noticed some people were like in the movie theater, they were ready to brace, because including my wife. I looked around and I was kind of curious.
I was ready, but then I thought about it and I was like, these people are 20 miles out. Of course they're not going to hear it first.
Of course they're not going to hear it right away.
And then I slowly just dropped my fingers. I was like, let's just do this.
Let's just take it. No, my wife kept her hands up, but I noticed
yeah.
But I knew the moment he said the quote. I think he said was it the quote when he's like, now we've become death, destroyer of worlds?
Yeah.
Once he said that, I'm like, and here it comes. Boom.
But yeah, that was not a gripe, but I was I for my ears.
Mm-hmm. I was initially worried, but I think knowing that we were in IMAX, I was less worried when it came to that part.
But you know what was really cool? That bomb was not CGI.
Dude.
Christopher Nolan actually got engineers in to make a mini bomb.
Yeah.
Which is crazy.
I mean, like they said, I'm sure people have, we read it.
Not an atomic bomb.
No CGI done with explosions. And
Yeah.
I saw a TikTok where one of the guys that worked on the set, he said he essentially just had 3 days of like all the actors just sitting there listening to explosions.
Yeah.
Just to get acclimated to it.
Yeah.
Which I think was super
And
cool.
what's really cool is that Christopher Nolan filmed this movie in 53 days. Killian was like, I've never worked this hard for a Christopher Nolan movie ever. And 53 days on set is not a long time.
No.
You're usually there for like 90, 100 plus days.
Yeah.
But like to get all these actors in
And
and
so
like
there's so many actors.
That was a lot.
But we'll get into that because I kind of, so I don't have a lot of gripes either. I actually don't have that
I feel
many
like
gripes.
to me the duration was it.
Yeah, I think that may
like-
have been the only gripe.
Yeah.
And yeah, no, it was really good. I think so. We'll just jump in. So, what did you like? Or was there something that popped? Like,
I personally, I love it when Christopher Nolan uses the same actors. He has a cast list that he always cast, right?
Yeah.
And I was just super excited to see a lot of them back.
Yeah.
Killian's one of them.
Mm-hmm.
Matt Damon's new. Matt Damon has never worked with Christopher Nolan before, I don't think.
No, really?
Has he?
I thought
Because he said that he has never worked with Christopher. But I could be wrong.
maybe he didn't. Oh. I thought he did.
I don't think he
Oh, I guess, yeah.
did.
It's not. I guess I thought he did with the way he said it, but because it was the whole story of like he told his wife that he would take a break unless Christopher Nolan like
Yeah, unless Christopher Nolan
offers him a
Yeah.
No, I guess not.
I think I really like the color themes.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, the going back and forth between color and black and white when you can see like the two different point of views of Oppenheimer.
No, it took a bit though, because I thought
Yeah,
it was I thought it was timing. I thought it was like,
No, yeah. That's what I thought too, but then you start realizing it's just their point of views of Oppenheimer.
Well, it's not even just there. It was, I think the black and white can be considered as Strauss's point of view, right?
Yeah.
So I think that's what it was. And then the color is like actually what happened. Like facts.
Yeah. Oppenheimer.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I really enjoyed that. And all these actors, Josh Peck coming in out of nowhere as Bainbridge. I was like, what?
See, I think I saw he was in one of the trailers. I think maybe I wasn't crazy, but I think I saw he was in one of the trailers. So I wasn't super surprised by that one. I know Jack Quaid too. I remember Jack Quaid was.
Yeah, Jack Quaid was one of them.
One. I forgot Rami Malek was going to be in this movie.
I already saw a clip of it.
Yeah. I think I saw it, but I just
yeah.
forgot. I think that's what it was.
Yeah. Josh Hartnett is in it.
Yep.
My heartthrob of the early 2000s. He's still good looking. That's all
The
I'm saying.
unexpected actor, since we're just on this right now, I didn't know Gary Oldman was
Really?
was Truman.
Really now?
I didn't know that was him.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I sat there.
I could tell.
I was like, I recognize him, but I guess I don't know who it is.
Casey Affleck is in this movie.
Wait, who was he?
Posh.
Okay.
He's Boris.
So actually, now that we talk, the one negative I have, but it just comes
okay.
with it.
Yeah.
So many names you have to juggle.
That is true.
I will say that is my one
true.
negative now that I think about it. I mean, you can't be helped because there's so many scientists on the project and such.
Yeah.
There's so many,
yeah.
and then it is going through Oppenheimer's life and that who he interacts with, and I think that's it just can't be helped. But it was just one of those things even if you know, you just have to keep up with who's playing who, right? And if there's
that is
there's
a
a
good
passage
negative.
of time.
That is.
So I think it was still just a lot. And even yeah, we had 3 hours, but I don't have 3 hours. It's like cramming for a test, right? Like trying to remember who's who. So.
But I will have to say, Nolan did a good job transitioning into who they were talking about.
Yes. Yeah. They would.
You just had to like. Sometimes you couldn't picture the name
until they show you.
Face.
No, until they show it, and you're like, oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
And they know that. That's the thing. It was just like one of those things where I think I had to keep up with a bit because they would like throw the name of the. Let me see.
I always got Lawrence and Hill mixed up, which was Josh Hartnett and Remy Malek. I always got those two scientists mixed up, but then I was
at the end it didn't help because the
they
court
were
scene,
actually
they showed them at the same time, so it took a bit. Then the Chevalier incident, I couldn't remember who the guy was until they finally like showed
him
that Oppenheimer was talking to him when they had the kid.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's him. Okay.
No, that's a good negative.
Yeah.
That's a good.
Because they kept
or like gripe. Yeah.
It was just like a lot to keep up with. But again, like we mentioned,
Robert Downey Jr.
He did good as Louis Strauss.
He did good.
Yeah.
Did really good.
I was very surprised. You know what also surprised me?
What?
I didn't expect to see Florence Pugh's boobs that day.
Oh, I did.
No, I just didn't know in what context. I just heard that there was like a
you didn't
naked.
think it was like.
I just knew it was a nude scene.
Yeah.
Or like the topless
You
scene.
didn't think it was like a nude.
I didn't know who it was gonna be. That's the thing. I just didn't know who. I knew about it.
I knew it was Florence.
Yeah, I just didn't know who. So I sat there and I'm like, I think me and my wife were like, oh dang, okay. Oh, it is actually happening. Oh, yep. That's
I thought it was like gonna be like full frontal, like we were gonna see her like pooch.
Nope. I knew they wouldn't. It's
rated R. You never know. But it's Christopher Nolan.
For movies, I don't know. That's the thing. In the theatrical movies, I haven't seen that often. Topless is like typical.
Topless is the typical, but you could go with. I mean, her butt was shown too, so really
full frontal no. But yeah.
But sometimes it could happen.
Yeah.
I was like getting ready. I was like, oh dear God,
only
what am I gonna see?
On Max. Veronica, come on now.
Okay. Game of Thrones shit.
Seriously though.
Oh man. Einstein was really good. Albert Einstein. Tom Conti.
Yep. I thought it was really so I knew it wasn't the case, but for some reason I just forgot. I know some people always think he's the one that created the bomb, but no. No.
Yeah.
It was just, but I thought, and this is when I had to look back again, and I remember this being a tidbit in class, and that he just was, he was there, but not like actually like they're there.
Not like they're there.
But he like interacted with Oppenheimer. And I think this movie like just reminded me of, oh yeah, that's cool. But it was good casting. It was really good.
You know what was really funny?
What?
I was walking out of the movie theater and someone goes, I didn't know Albert Einstein lived until the 40s. And I was just sitting there and I was like, oh my God, he actually lived till the 50s, but okay.
It's fine.
I said, they were like, oh, what?
The war didn't end till 45, guys.
Yeah, I know.
He was there during Cold War. It's okay.
It's okay. It was just, yeah.
Dang it, that sucks.
That just caught me off guard. I was like, what more can I tell you about Albert Einstein that he was just alive?
You know what I also want to say? As someone that's not majored in physics, I actually was able to somewhat keep up until I saw on the whiteboard. And then I was like,
Dude, I was keeping up.
I was like, shit, I can't read that. Veronica can read that.
Especially it makes sense with between Kitty and Robert about how he tells, like, you know, that between us there's just space.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah,
so
like
when they talk about that, that's why I was like, okay, see, some people, I always wonder if, like, when it comes to these kind of movies, if they're worried by not knowing enough that they can't keep up. But just saying, me, I'm not really. I tried to be a science person, not the case. And I got the gist of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know some people were
It was
confused
cool.
with the H bomb and A bomb, but
Well,
I mean, honest to me,
they explained it.
personally
They
to me, I think explained
it.
it. They made the point of like there is a difference. I think they just got the point across like by context. Again, I think by context, the viewer can like understand a lot of things that are going on,
Yeah.
or the severity, right? So
Yeah.
I would
I
hope.
was like, I would hope. But yeah, do you know the history of Florence's character, Jean?
No, I did not actually. So
okay.
that was Gene Tatlock, right?
Yeah, Jean Tatlock.
All I knew was what they presented, like the whole like.
Okay.
I did know Oppenheimer was a womanizer, but I didn't. But
yeah.
I say womanizer. He had a lot of.
Oh, well, he had a lot of
Yeah.
female friends.
Female friends, yes.
Not his wife.
Not his wife.
No, I knew about it because I knew about the letter that she wrote, and that in real life she was actually wired every time they met up.
Whoa.
She was working for the FBI, yeah. So every time they met up in the U.S., she was.
Oh, I do remember
wired.
this. Oh my god, I do vaguely remember this.
Yeah.
The wiring
then,
part,
like,
I forgot.
Yeah, and then the letter like was actually true before her suicide attempt. Well, not attempt, but like she actually did go.
Dude, speaking of this,
that way.
Did you notice, really quick on this in regards to her suicide, when he was crying, it was very quick. But did you notice it looked like someone was pushing her down?
Yes, it did.
It was really quick. It was like a split second.
It was super quick.
Because
20 seconds.
And I was like, oh, because I thought again, what the imagery that with the cinematography here is so, or all these like the imagery, like, or like a lot of these like random things that happen, they always sneak in something, and I was like, oh, that's such a good thought process, because he feels like he did it.
Yeah.
He feels like he did it.
I mean,
it's
the last call, so
that's why I was like, okay, the arm must be his. So he's like
him.
legitimately like, oh, it's my fault. But of course, Kitty's like, no, chill,
man up,
chill.
Make the atomic bomb. That's basically what she said.
Make the bomb. Yeah.
Make the bomb.
Man.
But yeah, it was really good.
That's good. I know you mentioned color. I think they, besides the color, I thought it was really cool to notice like little things where at the beginning, he keeps thinking about the like essentially the subatomic universe, or like all that stuff. It's blue, right? Because it's like, oh, it's new. It's like he's still learning.
Something new, yeah.
And that's all he could think about. But then by the end, he sees the same sparks. Or even during the Trinity, he sees the same sparks, but now it's all red, and all he could see is fire.
All red, yeah.
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 Did you hear like so speaking of the red, did you hear the screaming? Like with the clapping too, actually?
Yep. I sure did. And I thought that was a kid in my theater, and I was like, who screamed? I literally turned around and I was like, who the fuck screamed?
Yeah.
But then I had to like think about it, and I was like, wait, he's thinking about Japan.
He's thinking about
and all the people
Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Yeah. Yeah. And I was just like, oh, screaming's there.
Mm-hmm.
The crying's there. And the ash bodies are there.
But it was so good because like people were celebrating and stuff, but then the occasional like you see someone like crying because if like they got hit, or even like the two couples like. At first, I thought they were making out under the bleachers. Then they were like holding each other, and I was like, "Oh, maybe they were." Yeah. But then, like,
no, wait, that first couple was making out.
Okay, that one, and then the other one.
The second one, it panned over to a couple and a kid crying.
Yeah, because they were like trying to hide.
Yeah, yeah.
So it was all inferred, and I was like, this is what I was trying to say. Like, they probably didn't show anything because obviously it's horrific, but that's probably another thing where Japan could easily be like, "Oh, see, they're hiding like the outcome."
Yeah.
So that's probably why. That's probably another reason why they're like, "Nope."
It probably felt very propaganda for them, which I can feel for them for that. That's why they would ban it.
Yeah.
But yeah, as someone who's like a mathematician, the way he was thinking about this subatomic like universe and like black holes and like light and like
because he
stars.
He was originally just a black holes expert, right?
Yeah. They're crazy. Mathematicians are crazy. We usually do things over and over again until we're just psychotic and like insanity. Obsessed. Yeah. So I really I like understood where he was just like sitting there like thinking about it.
No, and it's very like, and as like a layman, and you make a good point. It was very subtle, but they're always like, run the calculation again, do it again.
Yeah.
And back then, you had to like write out the calculation,
like write it
like
out.
actually.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Start over.
Man. But
And as the movie went on, Oppenheimer just looked defeated, even though he's like this hero, right?
it clicked right with the Trinity Project, because I think it's like at that moment, that's what they tried to show, is like, I think at that point Oppenheimer really did realize he just gave the world like the weapon. Yeah. Which is why they call him American Prometheus, really.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Which I think is cool, but also, ooh.
The father of atomic bombs? Yeah. That's Oppenheimer.
Did you know about the whole Strauss conflict?
So I remember it, but I didn't think it would go this far and like be a twist.
Yeah.
So I thought that twist was really cool and really like, I don't know. It was just like a different perspective, right?
I'm only asking because I knew of it, but again, this is more dramatized, and it's easier when you just read it from a textbook or like read it from history, while this one's like dramatized. So the way he like filmed everything, I didn't even notice it was going to be the twist as well. So when it became a twist, I was like, wait, duh, yeah, I know this, but I'm so into the movie that I just didn't follow. Like, I was following along where he wanted me to. Let's be real.
And I think he did it that way just to make the twist more interesting.
Yeah.
Because you'd forget because we went along with Oppenheimer's point of view for so long that when it became black and white version, like, you'd kind of forget where you left off on the black and white version.
Yeah, I mean, that was the other thing. We were with him for so long because I think this movie just felt like it had so many different vibes, but it was like all about the suspense of like, making the bomb, and it's like feeling on edge. And like, I think a lot of times it could make you feel uncomfortable because it just felt something was going, because where it's going to be. Yeah. But it was just paced in a very good way. But then all of a sudden it becomes a court drama in the last third.
Yes.
Or it starts off court drama-esque, but it's not as bad. Because you're like, oh, he's recounting. And then you're like, oh, it's a court drama.
It's like an actual court. Judge Judy, where you at?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I felt like we were the assistant to Strauss. I think we were technically in their shoes as a viewer. Because it's like, the reveal was about the same time.
Yeah.
Or the dots connecting and all that as such, yeah.
But that was cool. It was just really cool to see it all come together with the twist. The twist I didn't really see coming, really.
Yeah. Not the way they depicted, I didn't see it.
Yeah. No.
It was cool. It was done very well. It was like, it just felt gratifying, right? It felt like, yeah. And then I think another thing I thought it was really cool in a way, like how they filmed it in a sense, was in the court when he was talking about the affair with Jean Tatlock.
Yeah.
I thought it was it's very obvious, but it was really cool to just see like the pan, and all of a sudden he becomes naked because he's vulnerable, right? So I was just
vulnerable,
thought that was cool. Then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, the wife then realizes, oh, they slept together, and then flip back, and they're just
flip back, it's just doing
it on the chair. I was like, dang, oh shoot.
No, yeah.
But
Christopher Nolan was a genius of that.
Yeah. But good on Kitty for telling Cillian to not shake hands, but he still does it. I mean, I know I say good on her because years later she just doesn't shake.
She just does. She's like, she knows. She knows what he did.
Yeah. Or that one.
Hey, she stayed true though.
No,
to
she
herself.
Yep.
The entire time.
Yep.
A bit of an alcoholic, in my opinion, but.
Oh, dude, that's sad. It's a sad reality sometimes, though. Like sometimes some people aren't just ready for a kid, and it just hits.
Yeah.
I mean,
but they end up with two.
Yeah, they end up with two. I mean, I think the first one was just out of wedlock, right? Or not or.
No, sort of.
I think the timing.
Yeah,
right?
because
they were.
she was still married to the other guy.
Oh, that's why the other guy agreed to divorce.
So they
could get married, and then it looks like
before she starts showing.
Yeah,
that's what Oppenheimer said.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
I just forgot that was Emily Blunt sometimes too. I don't know why. It just didn't.
It's because she doesn't have her British accent on her. Which actually came out in bits and pieces.
It did.
Emily and Florence both had their accents out at some lines, and I thought it was so funny because I was like, this is supposed to be somewhat American.
Yeah.
But
oh man.
Yeah. And Killian's too. I feel like Killian's accent came out towards the end.
Dude.
But
yeah. No, go on. Yeah.
I was just gonna say, but then I realized he came from like a Jewish background.
Right.
And he lived in like Cambridge for a bit, so it kind of makes sense that accent would like kind of come out.
It kind of worked. With the setting and his
with Oppenheimer.
With Oppenheimer's history.
Yeah.
Someone, I saw this on TikTok and I can't unhear it. But someone was like,
no.
Hold on.
Oh no.
Let me make sure.
What they
said was, he's like, did you notice how, if you just listen to it a little bit, Cillian Murphy kind of does when he's doing his accent, sounds like Robin Williams. You have to listen to it, and it kind of gets weird.
Oh, okay.
But I was like, oh, that's interesting. Oh, that's weird. Just a random like thing. Go listen to it.
Okay.
Yeah, just
maybe I should go listen to it.
Let me see if I can find that TikTok again. But it was just one random thing where I was like,
it might be very weird, and we're just all gonna be like, what?
Yeah, it was weird. But overall, I think the movie was just. It was just really good because I liked the suspense, I liked the feeling, and it really just felt like a countdown the entire movie.
Yes, until the actual countdown.
I mean, and then there's like some things that I looked up, and it's true. Like one of the scientists, remember how like the car scene, he was like, "Oh, I have I'll be fine," and that actually happened where he was just like, "Yeah, I just don't need glasses, I'll be fine."
Yeah,
and luckily he was fine.
He was fine. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, it's so funny that if you see on the map of like there's someone. Have you seen the TikTok where someone was like, "Oh, all the viewers of the in the U.S." colored by if they're going to Barbie or the likelihood if they're going to Barbie or Oppenheimer."
Yeah.
And of course, New Mexico's like hard, like, yes, we're seeing Oppenheimer because duh.
Yeah, and that it was really funny. Someone that called that map like the electoral vote of 2023.
Because if you put it on top. Actually, yeah, that's true.
It's pretty accurate if you really think about it.
Yeah, you can even just look at it and compare it to like I think they compared it to like the legit electoral map.
Yeah, they did.
Of the recent election. It's like, this is pretty on point. That's kind of weird.
It's pretty on point.
Yeah.
I think this movie will get a lot of Oscars next year.
I think so too. I think we're going to see a lot of nominations for sure.
I think Cillian will definitely get Best Actor.
Think so?
Yeah. I think he's going to get nominated.
Over Ken?
Sure.
Over
Ken? Yes. Which Ken are we talking about? But yes.
Yes. Man, there's so this movie is really good. I actually would be down to. I told my wife after, I was like, I'd be down to watch this in IMAX.
Oh.
I would give another 3 hours.
Same.
Would you? For the sake of your butt?
I would actually.
Oh, let's go.
No, I would.
Hell yeah.
I actually do want to see this in 70. Yeah.
It was chilling. It was good, but chilling.
And this was my first movie in a long time where Robert Downey Jr. is in like a dramatic role. The last one that I saw him do was The Judge, and that was like pretty serious. Yeah. And
actually, I watched an interview with him, and he even said he's like, Nolan told him to like act like the opposite of all his recent recent roles, and he's like, one kind of felt like an attack, but he's not wrong.
Not wrong.
Which by Louis Strauss, he's supposed to feel like he's in the limelight, but also feels like it's his and it's not. Blah blah blah. So it's kind of good.
Yeah.
Man. I also think the one line when last thing I think was cool was when Oppenheimer gave the line of like the big. He was talking to I think Katie or one of the I forget which one or maybe it was another lady because it looked like he had another affair too at some point.
Yeah, with that other,
lady,
Lombard, I think.
Yeah, I think okay.
Her last name was Lombard.
Cool.
Yeah,
Got the same vibe.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
I think he was telling like the whole like the bigger the star, the more dramatic its demise, which I think is a
Yeah.
very good parallel to him. Period.
To him,
It's like that's so good. It's like oof.
it was good.
It was all good. Yeah, that's all I got. There's so much more, but it was just like
You just gotta go watch it.
you just gotta go watch it.
understand.
The more I talk about it, I'm like, I just want to watch it again. I felt empty after watching this movie though.
Dude, it was depressing.
Like I felt there's this one TikTok and it was like after watching Barbie or after watching this movie, I felt depressed. And then after watching Barbie, still felt depressed. But yassified.
Yassafan!
It's just like it's a lot. But this is good.
Yeah, most
We'll
definitely.
keep saying it because at this point I think we just need to close it out. Because you can just go watch the movie. But
Just go watch
You
it for
haven't-
Killian.
just watch it for Killian. Yeah. You got anything else though?
I don't. Would recommend.
Would recommend. On a high.
That's it. Is this your favorite movie of 2023? By far?
So far,
So
I'd
far?
say yes. But again,
One.
we talked about this in our news dumpy. That which week 30 news dumpy?
Yeah, week 30.
Yeah,
Yeah.
week 30, and we talked about how I think that's the one thing. I think it's refreshing that these are two movies that are not like, or let's even Barbie, right? They're not.
Yeah.
Barbie is a property like a Mattel, like under Mattel and all that, but it just feels like a separate movie, not like built up, having to be in a universe, and I think that's the refreshing part. So,
Yeah.
and watching anything else, it just feels like it's been off. So these two have been good, but I think I like Oppenheimer a lot.
It's been refreshing to not have to think about like a universe.
Having to
Like, oh, I had to watch this and this.
the
and,
only
like,
connections
connect
I had to do
these.
was who's this guy again?
Yeah. It's like, who's Hill?
Yeah, because they were like Hill's the mole, right? Hill was the
Yeah.
no. Hill was Rami Malek. They mentioned the mole, and I was like, who is it? And they showed like a quick flashback. I'm like, oh, thank God. Okay, cool.
I know. Or Borden. They're like, Borden? How did Borden get these files? It's
Yeah.
like, which one is the skull?
And then I was like, oh, it's Polka Dot Man.
Yeah. Polka dot guy.
From Suicide Squad. I get it. Oh.
I get it.
I didn't realize Kenneth Branagh was a Boar though. Niels Bohr.
Oh, yeah. I knew that.
I just again.
Or did you just not like recognize?
I just didn't recognize for a bit.
Okay.
And then like I think when they did the close up, I'm like, oh wait, that's Kenneth Branagh. Holy shit.
Yeah.
Because they showed him in the lecture and stuff, right? But he was kind of far away, so I didn't notice too much.
They sure did.
Anyway, on that note, I think I'm just gonna close it out.
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thanks for tuning in. You can follow us on Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, X, Threads, and Facebook on NgoVo Convo and NgoVo Convo. If you're on YouTube, don't forget to hit that like button and notification bell. I guess just to know all the time, right?
Just to know, yeah.
Really, just hit that subscribe button too. Actually, just hit the like. No, actually, just do all three.
No,
You're
no,
right.
no. It's all three. All
Yeah,
three.
yeah, all three.
Yeah. Not in that order, but
Or in that
subscribe
order.
first. Subscribe first, like next, notify later.
I see what you do. You're right.
Yeah.
But yeah, otherwise, comment down below. Let us know how we're doing. What you want to see next? Is there movies that we missed out? Because I know this is probably like few times we do a movie review in a year.
Hey, we might even do more.
We can do more.
Who knows this year?
Yeah. We'll see. But other than that, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.